take some notes first. Functions.
What do you want us to get?
Just out a piece of paper, you're going to take notes on functions.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so functions are relationships that
Hold on, I had a little struggle with my notebook.
Okay, so functions are relationships that for every input, there is exactly one output. Okay, so what you need to know from there, like a big star or a big asterisk, okay, what I want you to take away from that is that you can not have two of the same inputs. So in order for it to be a function, you can't have two of the same inputs. So now we're going to have to define what an input is so that we know we can't have two of the same ones. So an input will sometimes be called an input. Sometimes it'll be called a domain. And sometimes we'll call it just our X values. So all three of those are interchangeable to describe input. Input, domain, X. That is what you put into a function. So that's your input, your domain, your X. Doesn't matter. All three are the same thing. So if I have input, what else do I need? I need the opposite.
Output. I said it before, Jordan. Ha.
No, I already quit.
Yes, it is output. And then another, so output could also be known as your range or your Y values. Okay, so again, I'll use all three of those terms interchangeably. So you have to be ready for that. And that is what you get out of a function. Okay, so those are your notes so far for your functions. So if you are at home right now, I need you to open up your, actually I need everyone to, because no one has it. So even if you're at school, I want you to go under classwork and I want you to open up your function packet. There's quite a few pages in the function packet. That's
What function packets?
they're a lot of fun. I love my function packet. Okay, so we are actually going to start working on this function packet right on the front page. Should look like this. So what you're going to
I don't have a
under class
packet.
under
I
class
don't want to do it online. I'd rather do it
that
in
we're
person.
I know that's the way it is. That's I didn't print it for anybody because we have to try to transition because we're going to be distance learning for those couple weeks.
Miss Adrian,
Yes.
why does my Zoom thing say recording?
Because I'm recording the lesson in case we need to go back and look at it later.
Wait, can it see me?
You don't have your video on, honey.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So, we are going to be doing this. Hold on here. Okay. All right. So I understand that we don't like not having the paper in front of us, but what you're going to do is you're just going to use your notebook paper and you're going to answer the question.
What's it called?
Okay, so make sure that you are ready to be organized. So every time there is little page numbers at the bottom here of this function packet. So this is page 81 in my function packet. So at the top of my page, I'm going to put function packet, page 81. Okay, and we're going to try to do a few of these questions so I can get you started so you know what to do later. Number 1, it says state the domain and the range for each relation. So I'm going to put domain, and now I'm going to list my domain. Now remember, domain are my X values, okay? My inputs. So if I have 2, 5, which one's my X value?
2.
2. So 2, comma. Now if I have 9, 12, 9. If I have 3, 8, the 3. And if I have 6, 7, the 6. My domain is 2, 9, 3, and 6. And now my range is my values. Okay. So my Y values would be my 5, my 12, my 8, and my 7. So these will not take you very long on page 81. So your domain is your inputs, your X values. You're just listing them all. Then you list all your Y values under your range and you list them all. Okay. Now, of course, I couldn't just give you one page in that packet because that would not take you long enough. And this has to be for tomorrow when you're also at home. So in your, so you're gonna have that page, and I'll recap everything when we're done. We're gonna have that page 81, that first page. Now I want you to turn to page 85 in that function packet, page 85, and I will put it up on your screen so you'll be able to see it. Okay. Again, you're going to want to be organized. So at the top of another piece of paper, you're going to want to put page 85 function packet. Okay. And again, this will not take you long either. So that's the good news with this function packet, is I feel like it's very doable. It says determine whether the ordered pairs of the numbers below represent a function. Write F if it's a function, write NF if it's not a function. Okay, so remember I said you can't have 2 of the same inputs. So all I care about is listing my inputs right now. So I'm going to say them out loud. My input here is -1, -3, 0, and 2. Did I say any of the same number twice? I did not. So that means we're good to go, and that means that it is a function. So I'm going to put F for function. Okay, so I'm going to list off all my inputs. If I don't say anything twice, then that's good. It is a function. So number 1 is a function. Number 2, my inputs are -4, -2, -1, and 2. None of those are exactly the same. So I'm good to go. So this is a function. Okay, number 3, I have 5, 2, 2, 5. I said 2 twice, and I said 5 twice. Both no-nos. That's awful. So this is not a function. So NF for not function. Okay, that's how you do page 85. But of course, we couldn't be done with just page 81 and page 85. Okay, so now I need you to turn to page 91 in your function packet. Page 91. Page 91 looks like this. The good news is there's only 2 questions on page 91. There's 2 questions on page 91, so we're actually going to do both of them right now. But again, at the top of your paper, you're gonna wanna say what page number you're doing. Page 91, function packet, make sure it's labeled. Because we have to be organized, unfortunately, because unless you're at home and you're gonna print off the whole packet for yourself, which is the choice that you have at home. Okay. Number 1 says, which set of order paired completely expresses the relationship shown? Well, this is a mapping is what this is called. So they went from 5 to 4. So I need 5 comma 4. Well, here's 5, 4, here's 5, 4. Then I went from 5 to 8. I need 5 comma 8. Well, here's 5, 8. Then I went from 3 to 9, 7 to 2, 6 to 2, and 6 to 8. So which letter is it? It's D. You have to make sure that they have every single one of them mapped. So number 1 is D. And again, the good news on page 91 is there's only 2 questions. So number 2 now says the relationship in question 1 above. So we want to know, is it a function or is it not a function? Well, if it's D and I list off all my inputs, I have 5, 5, 3, 7, 6, 6. I said 5 twice, so it is not a function. So now we're down to either C or D. Is it not a function because all the elements in the range are mapped? That doesn't make much sense, but let's read the next one. Is it not a function because one element in the domain is mapped to 2 elements in the range? Yes. So remember, I can't have 2 of that same inputs. 6 went to 2 and it went to 8. You can't do that. So letter D. So actually page 91 is done. I did it for you. Okay. Now, one more page and I promise I'll be done. And
Wait,
then
what was number 2? I couldn't hear.
2 is D. Okay, we are going back to page 82 in the function packet. So page 82 in the function packet. So again, take a new piece of paper probably in your notebook. Just go to the next page. Make sure you label page 82 function packet. Okay. Number 1. So they give us the domain. We need to find the range. That means we need to find the output. We're going to put these in as our inputs and then to find the output. They give us the relationship here. So they say our domain is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I put 1 in for X, so I have 5 times 1. What's 5 times 1?
5.
5, good. So my range, when I put 1 in, I got 5 out. So 5, comma, good grief. Okay, if I put 2 in, 5 times 2 is 10. If I put 3 in, 5 times 3 is 15. And if I put 4 in, 5 times 4 is 20. So my range for number 1, when I put my 1 in, I got 5 out. When I put 2 in, I got 10 out. When I put 3 in, I got 15 out. When I put 4 in, I got 20 out. Number 1 is done. Now we're going to move on to number 2. This is saying the absolute value of X. Remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. So how many hops from 0? So I'm going to try to put out my range. Okay. If I put in -3, how many hops from 0 is -3? The positive
3.
Yes, good. So 3 hops. If I put in -2, absolute value of -2 is 2. Absolute value of -1 is 1. Absolute value of 0 is 0. And the absolute value of 1 is 1. So my range is 3, 2, 1, 0, 1 for number 2. Okay, so that's how you do that page 82. So one more time so that you know what you're doing tomorrow. If not, you can always check the stream. Okay, we're going to review one more time. So you have in your function packet, you have to do pages 81, 85, 91, but I crossed that out because technically that was the one we did those 2 questions on, and that's all that's on there, and page 82. So that is your homework. You have function packet pages 81, 85, 91, but technically we already finished that, and 82.
Wait, is that our homework for today or tomorrow?
Today and tomorrow, yeah. So you're
Okay.
working on it again tomorrow when you're at home.
What do we have to do today?
Well, we did a whole bunch today. We did that assignment from in class, from the book. Okay. And then we did a couple of each